You read the title properly. This channel is not working out. This is not a doom and gloom video though. Of course, we're going to try and figure this out. I'm not really sure what the problem is. I think it's a whole bunch of different things. So for one, me being in my 30s and YouTube deciding that this is a child's account, it's probably not helpful. The fact that I was working on commonplace books and then commonplace binders, and commonplace books were known, but commonplace binders weren't, because, you know, that's an unusual term. That was kind of my own term. Although I'm sure other people have used it before. And now I'm moving into commonplace diplomas. The problem with commonplace diplomas is that's not a thing. So I have to completely make that from scratch. And the videos I have made on the commonplace diploma so far have been, shall we say, lackluster. So I've received some comments on the channel related to how the channel could be better. And some of them were basically like, be rich. And it's like, no, I can't really do that one. But I can show you a richer wall of paper. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing the one sheet of paper with 6 sheets of paper. Technically that's 6. And I'm a little nervous about it because I'm going to need to stuff part of it behind the shelving, and I'm going to need to cut a hole in it because there's a window over here and it needs to go behind the drapes. So we'll see how that goes. Also, this is a lamp, right? So I'm going to have to move the lamp whenever I record because we don't want stuff behind the lamp to be obstructed. This channel is not working. It's just not. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing the thing behind me, going to be changing some things on the channel, and the channel might get a little bit more political. In fact, I think I'm going to have a second channel just for the more political talks. And yeah, I'm going to work on this. I might talk a little bit afterwards, but if not, just know I will keep posting. The posting may be a little bit less regular than it has been. And I don't have anything prepped for this video, right? Like, we're just going to see how it goes. And I might add some extra commentary later. So I just cleared Deep Dive 28 off the wall, because of course, you know, this is 28. And so that is no longer going to be in the back, distracting us. After I put these away in a little box, I will be removing this part, because we don't need the Deep Dive thing up there. Alright, this is the commonplace binder deep dive. We're going to get rid of this for now, because, you know, commonplace diploma, of course. And so every time I take the deep dive off of the presentation, what I have to do is I have to cut around the tape, unless, of course, I could figure out how to pull the tape off the page. So we'll see if I can do that first. That may save some time. Now this one came off because the bottom has a little bit of tape. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. But that's not going to work on the top, so I'm going to have to cut the top ones off. Okay, we've cut the tape off. That's pretty good. So now that the tape has been cut off of this, I do need to put it away in a little box. So for that, we just fold it up. Hope that works, right? I'm not sure if that was the right way to fold it. This is, of course, the box I'm trying to put everything in. This is a 3x5 box, and we just close it up on the sides. So I keep this for the Patreon videos. I also keep it for all the other versions of videos. It's an easy way to keep track of what I'm doing because, you know, the cards are in here. Actually, I am going to be putting the box on top of this group of boxes. So now what? What are we going to be doing here? Well, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this because if it doesn't work, I'm going to have to put this back exactly where it came from. It's going to go right here again. And so if I take the stuff off the wall and I find out that this needs to go back, I'm going to be more than a little bit upset. Okay, so in order to get the additional wall pages, what I have to do is I have to take the package, right, because I do store these in a place, out from underneath my bed, because I have nowhere else to store them, because where are you going to store something shaped like this, right? I do have shelves over here, and I've thought about removing everything on one layer of shelves so I can just put paper on it. That doesn't sound like a really good use of space. So I've thought about taking the shelves apart, putting them back together again in a way where, you know, everything from there to there would be really short, and then everything below would be very tall, right? I would change the spacing, and then the stuff on the top would also get pushed inside. The problem with all of that is it's a lot of work, and it might not work. It would probably work, but I would have to make sure I had the right space, and I would have to make sure that, well, I would have to take everything off my shelves. That's kind of a pain. Good news, I don't actually have to use the newer versions of the pages. I can get by with the older versions, like this one, because I have one very old set of pages, maybe from like 2014, maybe even older actually, and the other set of pages I got rather recently. And it would be nice to use those. That would be very fun because, well, they're new. But I figure I should use the old ones in case they go bad, and I'm just a little bit more comfortable using the old ones because I know that they work, because I've used them before, and I don't want to put the new ones up on the wall and then realize they don't actually stick. So I just want to work with the ones that I've already been working with and not mess with the new stuff. That's pretty easy, pretty obvious. But the good news about that is I don't actually have to open up the box, right? I can just leave that as is, and I can work with the older stuff. I'm feeling a little bit nervous about moving this because this is two individual things that took me a lot of time. And you might be like, oh, that looks like it took no time at all. Here's the thing. I am not used to cutting a specific sheet of paper to be that size, right? Because what I have to use is this. And while it is nice to have some scissors, scissors are not like one of those big, like, saw things, right? And so when people show very finely cut paper, they normally have like the big arm that comes down or something else like that. They're not having to like manually do everything. I've cut my hair with these scissors before, right? Like that's not great. And I should probably get different scissors for cutting my hair. I actually have, now that I've been, you know, buying all the little things I didn't have before, like gauze, you know, it's kind of cool. Now, if I have a really bad injury, I might not die, you know, like that's good. And I have more of these pages. So I'm going to turn the computer monitors back on, and then after that, I think we will finally move this off the wall. I'm panicking, but I'll be panicking less once it's done. Or at least the panicking will end. Ah! I kind of want to show this to you, but I also want to do it right, which is a conundrum. Do you hear that? Oh, I really hope you can hear that sound. It's really interesting. Wow. Actually, I'll show this up close so you can see all the fun details. Look at that. Bum, ba-dum. I was going to do a little song, and I realized we might have some issue with copyright. Oh, maybe it needs to be a little further out. This is so weird. I also don't really know if I want to seal this, because if I fold it, see, normally I would fold the top so that way it doesn't collect any dust and it stays where it's supposed to go. The problem with that is if I have to put this up on the wall again, I need this to stay unsealed. So we're gonna risk it. We're gonna just lay it down and hope it doesn't get stuck. That is totally gonna be a problem. Okay. This is our newer, slightly yellow sheet of paper. And by newer, I mean it's been on the floor. Oh yeah, there's a lot of hair at the top. Look at that. Gross. Oh my god. At least it's my hair. You know, like if it was somebody else's hair, I'd be a little worried. I'd be like, whose hair is that? Okay, this is where I'm going to be using a step stool. Yes, folding step stool. So if I fall, you'll know it's not good. I expect to be fine. I've never fallen off this step stool. So that's what that looks like. This is not an ad. This is just me making sure that I don't fall over. Yeah. So it says don't exceed 300 pounds. And I think there's some other relevant information basically saying, you know, step on it with both feet. Don't step in just one part of it. And, you know, like, just don't be weird about it. It looks like I have to move the lamp, which kind of sucks. I'm not sure how I'm going to get to sleep. But we'll see how that goes. I'll have to figure that out later. Oh, you can see that in the corner, right? That's the windowsill. Oh, are you able to see this? Oh, there's a little white thing on the screen, you know, because you got like the 4 buttons on the side, or at least I do on my phone when I'm recording. So there's this little hook thing right here to hold the drapes or curtains or whatever. I'm sure it's fine, right? We'll figure that out. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to somehow slap this all the way on the ceiling. I am pretty tall, but I'm not like a giant. So that's why I need the step stool. And we're just going to hope that I can actually reach up there. I think I did. I did check if I could reach the ceiling beforehand, although I can reach the ceiling like that. So technically I can touch it. I'm just not sure if I can, like, you know, hold a piece of paper and slap it on effectively. I guess we'll see how that goes. Okay, I made my first cut. I'm sure this is going to go great, right? At least it's on the right side. I mean, it's on the left side, but at least it's on the correct side. I cut a little triangle out of this. Let's see how it goes. Alright, I definitely screwed it up. That happens. Now we have a weird looking hole. We're gonna try to make it work. All right, I've been trying to set this thing up for a while, and it is currently not straight. Beforehand, it was going all the way into the window, and then it got stuck on the ceiling, and the whole time the hole in the top was too small, and of course I'm seeing in this shot that we can't really see much of it anyway, so it's a little bit frustrating, but I'm gonna figure that out after I chug a bunch of water. Oh my god. Okay. Seems like the water was good, right? That's looking a lot better. It's really weird to see myself all the way back here. I don't know, maybe the height has to be different. My head's looking a little bit big, although I do have a big head, so I don't know. I definitely need to go to the gym. Yeah. Alright. I keep getting the water and then realizing I probably need more water. I don't know, maybe I should be doing this in shorts. Anyways, it's time to get the next ones. The one below it is going to be the trickiest, so I think we're going to get 2 more up here, just to make sure that the concept works, and then we're going to try the side, which of course has the hole near the bottom, whereas this one is near the top, so it's a little bit easier. Although, you know, that thing is like this long, whereas the thing down there is like that long. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, getting a lot more used to just pulling these off. It's crazy because I don't use these very often. At least not new ones. That's looking a lot better. This is so funny. These are gigantic sheets of paper just like on the wall of our room. Oh, I really hope this works out. Although, you know, that looks pretty good, right? That is definitely bigger than the space remaining, but I think we should be able to make it work. It looks like we did it. Oh. I'm so tired. But that looks very fun. It's really fun because this is a crazy line. It makes this room look huge. Although I've had to, you know, clear pretty much everything off this wall. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that actually. But we're gonna add another 3 below and see how that goes. Got another sheet here. I think I'm going to put it on and then I'm going to try to figure out where the hole is rather than trying to figure out the hole ahead of time, not marking it, and then cutting anyway. Okay, now what I did here is I attached it, but underneath these. And the reasoning for that is because the top of each one of these pages cannot be written on in the same way, and I also don't want to record too low, right? So if I went all the way down, this page would be on or behind this thing. And I know you can't see that, but I have shelving right there, so I can't really do anything with that. There's also shelving here, right? So there's a little bit of a limit when it comes to the space. And I also don't want to be filming like super low on the ground because that could get really weird. All right, time to fix this page. Okay, I managed to slice through the hole, but I realized we have another complication, which is this is right up against the windowsill. And I knew about this at the beginning, but I just kind of forgot. Okay, I can actually see that in the corner. That doesn't look so good. That's okay. We'll figure that out. Got another one. This should be the easiest one out of all of them, because I've already done the top. Why is there random stuff on here? God dang it. Come on. So much dust. No hair though. That's good. Okay. Alright, I think that looks fine. Yeah. I did it! I'm not sure how it looks. I feel like this gap is a little ridiculous, so we might have to try to seal that. This one seems fine. I don't know. This is so funny though. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a pretty ugly gap. Maybe what I could actually do is I could cover the gaps in different things, and so that way I wouldn't have to worry about the gaps as much. I don't know. But what I do know is this recording is getting very long, so I hope the computer doesn't freak out when I try to edit a 40-minute long video. So, if there is more to add, I will add that in another clip. Just know that in the future, I'm going to be working with 6 sheets of paper rather than 1. So, hopefully that will improve things a little bit. And if there are other suggestions you have, please let me know in the comments down below. So, as always, hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.